Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome or welcome back to Stars Aligned Oracle YouTube channel, the Lucky Stars community. Cat Star here with your love reading for the week of April 17th through what day? 23rd. I had to look down there. There's a glare on it and everything. Yeah, this love reading does feel a little bit different. So it's being indicated that there is potentially a lack of communication or no communication. Maybe there's no contact as far as you and your special or specific person go, or the person on your mind, or maybe there is contact but it's just not hitting. Something to that effect. So Spirit indicated that this is the deck for this love reading for you for this week, Aquarius, and that this is the messages that your person wants to come through. Okay, now whether it's no contact or whether their communication is just missing, that's, you know, individual is what I'm getting here. But this is how this one is going to work this week. This is what Spirit's spreading through. So as a reminder, my readings are for entertainment and are general in nature. They may or may not resonate for everybody, so please do take what is for you and leave what isn't for those of you liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. Also want to give a huge shout out to all of the new and returning viewers and subscribers, and to the channel members. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the second channel at That Wild Spark. You can put the @ sign. It is just that wild spark, but you can put the @ sign in front and it will take you to it. You can go down in the description box, there will be a link, and or the community tab will have a link. So go check it out. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the videos, watch the videos. Let's get some eyes on it. Let's get the channel growing. Subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, subscribe here as well. There is a new video going out on the second channel as well. For some reason, things have been getting later and later. Uploads have been taking longer and longer. Oh, I was going to do a live and ask you guys about this, but I haven't gotten it done. I think I might do a live tomorrow, but I'll just save it for that. Let's get into this, okay? Your first message out here is, I am reminded of you by many things, okay? So whether this is no contact or you guys are just missing as far as that contact goes, like it's like a near miss kind of energy, they're reminded of you and they want you to know that they think about you all of the time, okay? Even though there may be no contact or the contact isn't hitting, or kind of the communication isn't kind of getting through or making sense or whatever it is, it's like missing the mark almost. They want you to know that they are reminded of you by many things. They are thinking about you. There's so much that happens, a scent that comes through, a song or something that is said, or even a voice that they hear that reminds them of you. So they are thinking of you like all the time almost, okay? So if you are thinking that they're just out doing whatever and don't even have you on the mind, or they're just this or that, or too busy or whatever it is, they're reminded, their things are always popping up, always showing up, that remind them of you. And so even though they're not maybe around or whatever it is, you are all, they can't, it's almost as if they can't get away with you, get away from you, even if they tried, even though you guys may not be communicating, or that communication might even be a little stagnant or a little difficult during this time, okay? The next one out here is, you were the closest person to me, okay? Okay? I mean, you were the closest person to them. They find you very important, very special. And, you know, whatever the situation is, because, you know, it sounds, reminded of you, you were, it sounds like it's past tense, but it also could just be that there's not a lot of communication right now. For some of you, I'm getting that they may actually have taken a job out of state or even out of the country, and that has kind of limited the contact or the communication. I don't know, that it's probably just for a very select few of you, that might be, but it's almost as if they either got transferred or they took a job somewhere out of the state or out of the country, and it's really, but you were the closest person to them. They still have that special place in their heart. It's almost like there's a lot of respect, and no matter what happens, you are their person. Okay, that's really interesting. Whether you guys are, however this is coming through, because you see, it sounds like a lot of past tense, but at the same time, that message at the beginning that Spirit put through here was that, you know, even though there might not be contact or limited contact, this is what Spirit wanted this message to come through for you to know from your person during this week or during this time, Aquarius. Okay, so you were the closest person. There isn't. Okay, also, if for some reason this has to do with somebody else, or if there's a third party there, some of you are concerned or worried about that energy, and it's coming through that you are the closest person. It says you were, but the thing is that it's coming through here that whoever the third party is, or whatever, or maybe even a karmic kind of thing, that they're not taking your place. Okay, that's just a, yeah. You might have abandoned me. Okay, so there's abandonment issues or abandonment concerns as far as this. So there's a potential that this person might have backed away or kind of cut the communication or connection because they were scared. This isn't because they were this is their own thing. Okay, this is their own thing. They were afraid. For some of them, they actually felt like they like you were too good for them, like they didn't deserve it, and or they had some conditioning, some things that happened in their childhood or their young adult life that really concerned. This is coming through with this energy that they rejected you before they felt like you could reject them, or they abandoned you before they could before you could abandon them. This some of you are holding on to this as if this was your doing, or that's something that you did or whatever, and they for those of you that this resonates for, they cut that communication or they limited communication because it just felt like too much. It was too heavy of a burden for them to hold, to think or have that thought, or hold that energy of that potential of you abandoning them. So because they thought you might have abandoned them, they rejected you before they thought you could reject them, whether that was your intention or not. Okay, they still feel like you are the closest person, or were the closest person to them, which was even scarier. And I know that doesn't always make sense. There's so much that reminds them of you daily, constantly, all of the time. Okay, because you again are that special person to them. They got scared, it feels like. Okay, I don't want to be platonic. Okay, I don't want to be platonic. They don't want to be with anybody else, and they don't want you to be with anybody else. But during this time, it feels like it's difficult to be together, or at least that's their thought, right? They're thinking that maybe you're too good for them, and for some of them, they are really, really in the space of healing and or working on themselves so that they can come back together for you, okay? Or with you, not for you, but come back to you, have that open dialogue, that open communication. But they need to do some work, they need to heal, and they need to really look at where this kind of abandonment energy is coming from, where this where potentially they were rejected, or where they feel like they were abandoned and or not taken care of. This very much feels like a person, your specific person, your special person, the person on your mind, however this comes through, who is scared to be alone, but also scared to be with anybody. Okay, so if they are with a karmic, or there's a third party involved here, it's because they don't want to be alone, and they don't have any fear or concern with this person. This is a person they could walk away from. This is so interesting that this is coming through. This is a person that they could walk away from without holding any kind of regret type of energy, or worry or concern. It's as if they are a placeholder. This is so interesting that this is coming through. It's as if they're a placeholder for you, but they know obviously that it's not you, and that you are You are their one. You are their special person. You are the one. But it feels very much like this person, they don't want to be platonic. They want to be with you, but they're very scared right now. So they're doing some work, but also they don't want to be alone. This is somebody who, with those abandonment issues, feels like, or has a feeling or a need to have somebody with them at all times. It's almost as if they're scared to be by themselves, or scared to be alone with their own thoughts or their own feelings, or their, right? And they need somebody there, but it feels very much like a placeholder, like a person that could be there that is not somebody that they would actually stay with or fall for. Or it's just somebody who takes up the space and lets them not be lonely while they get their ish together to come back together with you. And I know that sounds difficult. I know that sounds awful. And this is not going to be for everybody, for sure. And you know, it's your choice kind of how this comes together for you, or what you decide to do with this, because this can be very painful to be a part of, and or to watch or to see. But that's what's coming through. Okay, the next card that you have here is, it was difficult to say goodbye to you. Yeah, because that's the last thing that they wanted to do. They didn't want to say goodbye. They didn't want to push you away. They wanted, and they still want, to have that open communication, that dialogue, that energy of togetherness, that partnership, that, right? Yeah, they just aren't really sure how to do it right now. Okay, not with you. You are the one. You are the one. So interesting, and it's so heartbreaking when things messages come through like this, because you you can see the pain and the heartbreak within it, and also see an energy, or I can feel and see the energy of them. They know what they want, and they are working to get there, but this is like the interim, right? From getting from point A to point B, or point C even, to, right, they have to be able to go through these motions and be able to do the things to be able to come back in that stronger space and or capacity to be with you, and to have that actual relationship with you, where this doesn't come back into play. They had, I mean, their heart shattered in a million pieces when they said goodbye to you. When they, when it felt as if to them, when they were rejecting you, or, right, because of that abandonment issue, when they felt like they needed to reject you because they were afraid you were going to reject them, so they needed to do it first. Like they were rejecting a part of themselves because you feel like an extension or a piece of them. Wow, this is, wow. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. Um, and then they're sitting in the space of, I wish I could take back what I said. They knew before they even said it how what they said was going to affect you, how what they said was going to hurt you. They knew it, and they had, it feels very much like, planned their words carefully for the most effect, because, but also it was words that either they had heard or been told themselves, or that they knew would be words that somebody would say to them that would hurt them in just the right way, to be able to kind of create this disconnect or non-communication kind of energy, so that they could do what they need to do. It doesn't always make sense how this works, because, you know, the emotions, the things that we feel, the conditioning, all of that, it doesn't always make sense the way that it comes out. And they wish they could take it back. They wish they could not have said it. They wish they could not have rejected. They wish they could not have pushed you away. They wish that they didn't have to say goodbye, or they didn't make that decision, because they do want to be with you. You are the closest person to them. They let the walls down. They let you in. They opened up to you, and then they got scared and they regretted it. Not because of all of that, but just because they weren't ready for that. That was a big step. It was a huge step for them, especially after all that they had gone through, and they weren't ready. Now, this isn't discounting any of your conditioning, your past, your what kind of happened with her for you. It's this energy of spirit wanting to put through for those of you that this resonates for. This isn't going to resonate for everybody, but it's want you to know that there was something else that was working here, that was at play, and that was those abandonment issues, that energy of not feeling like they deserved you and not feeling like they were good enough for you, and you know, them getting frightened and scared. So this is what they want you to know. I'm going to read it in order of this communication that needs to come through. I am reminded of you by many things. You were the closest person to me. You might have abandoned me. See, but it's like, but you might have abandoned me. I don't want to be platonic. And it was so difficult to say goodbye to you. I wish I could take back what I said, right? They didn't want this to come out and happen the way that it did. They wished they could have done things a little bit better. They wished that they had healed a little bit more, maybe even before they met you, or maybe even gone through therapy, or, have better communication with you in the process. They just didn't know how to do that. Okay, they just didn't know how to do that. So during this time, they're working on themselves, but they do have a difficult time being by themselves with that abandonment issue. They don't feel like they can be with you, but there may be a karmic third party involved just because they're scared to be alone with their own thoughts, with their own feelings, with their past, with whatever it is. They are scared to be alone. They just can't. So even if they are out of a relationship with you, they hop into a relationship with somebody else who isn't as important, who isn't their person, because you are, right? Who they don't feel like they have to, you know, really put in any effort with. That's the interesting thing. They don't feel like they need to put any effort in. Then no one is allowed to talk bad about you. No one is allowed to cross you. No one is allowed to nothing like that, right? You are their person, and yet they're scared to be alone, and they needed to let you go for this time. They're working on making themselves better. They don't want to be platonic. They want to be with you. They want to have that open communication. They didn't want to say goodbye. It was like the hardest thing they ever did, because you were their closest person to them. You were the person they let in. You are their person. They wish they could take back what they said, but they were scared. They thought you were going to leave them. They thought you were going to reject them. They thought you were too good for them, so they pushed you away before you could push them away, and they thought that that was the right thing. Now they're working on themselves to come back to you, to open those lines of communication, and it's really up to you how you see this. If they come back and they can prove themselves to you, what will you say? I mean, that's kind of what's coming through here. All right, a lot to think about. I do intend this resonated with you and for you. If it did, please do hit the like button and share this video. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. Also, feel free to hit the subscribe button right down below and the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload new readings. It is free for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it does support the Lucky Stars community in growing and thriving. Also, feel free to check out the second channel, That Wild Spark. Check out the videos. There's quite a few videos on the second channel now. Like the videos, share the videos, and make sure you're subscribed to both channels, this channel and the second channel, That Wild Spark. Both channels. You are more than welcome, and we'd love to have you on both. As always, I do wish you lots of hope, lots of joy, and lots of love with all of your current and future endeavors. I'll see you in the next reading.